After 32 years, Newsday has commenced legal proceedings to wind up its business. A public notice will be published on all daily newspapers on January 10th. States that the petition to wind up Daily News Limited, publishers of Newsday, was filed on 31st December 2025, and the first hearing is set for January 19th. Further down, they said the elements of this perfect storm are varied as they are damaging, with no single factor exclusively to blame. This is not something that suddenly happened, but rather a symphony of events playing out over a decade. Here's some of the things that they mentioned. The cost of raw materials, in particular paper, the largest expense, has also skyrocketed. Cost of machinery and maintaining it have also increased significantly. And the world has changed. TNT is no different. The value placed on traditional media has diminished, and the political campaign to discredit them for nefarious reasons has ramped up. Newspaper entails hundreds of people working every day of the year and around the clock to keep the public informed, but $3 is too much to ask for that service. Advertising revenue has also decreased significantly over the last decade. And those are some of the things that they said would have been the major reasons. My hot take on it is that the Newsday was always the third newspaper in Trinidad and Tobago, and newspapers rely on advertising to live. So if everybody is feeling the advertising pinch because people don't put their ads in newspapers or print media anymore, and they put their ads on social media, it would have been inevitable. That's my hot take. What do you think, Akim?
Yeah, I don't think that's not a controversial take. That's a factor. Well, it could more than say factor.
It's grounded in fact.
Yeah, grounded in facts. Because a lot of other newspapers, say like in the UK and other places, they over the past, say, 10 years or whatever, they release a lot of people, follow a lot of people. And instead of just winding up, they started trying to, they went the route of like paywalls,
Right,
like
yeah.
they're trying to do more exclusive, more investigative journalism, more stuff like that, and put it behind paywalls. And with that too, they started doing more clickbaity stuff, because at the end of the day, it wasn't just about, so I think in a sense too, a lot of other outlets I'm not sure if this happening to some of the local newspapers too, but a lot of outlets, say, outside of Trinidad, started doing more, as I say, more clickbaity stuff, and the actual journalism in terms of, it used to be about the facts and the real story is kind of just about getting you to come and read the article or the clickbait or to...
the first paragraph.
Outrage, gather some outrage so that you would... Same thing like social media, trying to get more eyes on it, have a good hook. Trying to make bacchanals, so people will be in the comments or come and read a paper, they would disagree. So it kind of fall into some of that. And so I mean with Newsday, they didn't go that route. They went the route of the traditional route of just trying to stick with the traditional advertising that was meaning not digital but in the paper itself. And to be honest, I can't remember when last I bought a newspaper. I was like...
that was going to ask McKellar, like, you ever buy a newspaper before?
I mean, for my parents, yeah.
No, for you.
No, why do not for?
Exactly. McKellar, like, grew up her whole life and I was like, I'm not going to buy papers because I want to read it. There is internet for a reason.
I'll tell you,
exactly.
Last time I buy newspapers was like when I was in UE or leaving UE, and you're looking for apartments, and the best place to find apartments used to be in the classifieds. So that was probably 15 years ago.
I don't know, Michaela, how you feel? What's your hot take on it? That bothering you in any way, or it don't matter?
It's not bothering me per se because there are two other newspapers. However, it's a little concerning how many media outlets, I guess, are closing down, because the Loop closed down just this year as well. No, this year or last year? Well, last year.
Last year Loop closed down,
2025. Yeah. So they're less reliable information sources, but for the most part, I wasn't going to read the physical newspaper.
So,
But it's still good to have the information.
my question is why wouldn't you just turn to a digital outlet instead?
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing. But I guess it'll still be similar staffing cost. And like you said earlier, advertising is a problem, like getting advertisers and actually if you put too much ads on your website, people are not going to navigate to your website. Me, for example, if I open a newspaper article and the first thing I meet is an ad, I'm going to close the page and go about my day.
Yeah, but you have an ad blocker. So,
True.
So, like, that's the thing too. Like, if you compare Express and Guardian, though, especially the Guardian is a real pain to go on the website, especially if you're on a phone. Once that pops on and you're scrolling, and a video that's take over the whole screen, and it's like, what the hell? But Newsday didn't really used to do that. And if it, like, I sure could go on the page now, they don't really have much ads on the stuff.
All right.
Yeah, to me, when I think about like online newspapers, I think Newsday.
Clip that. All right, cool. So let me tell you what's in. Express and Guardian will go through this, right? Like for sure. There's no reason that we could see in the foreseeable future that print media will live on. There's nothing that says that points in that direction anyway. Because of that, it should just be smart for you to try to figure out how to tailor your organization to be online only. And whatever staffing you have to do, whatever things you have to sort out, whatnot. Yes, people will get fired, people will get furloughed, whatever the case is. But if they were thinking about it, I'm sure that it had to be on the table somehow that, yeah, we should just go digital only. But what would have stopped them from going digital only? So all you're saying is just ads alone? Like putting ads on the website?
How you going to be profitable?
Well, you just had to you had to cut down the staff to 5 people.
Yeah, but you go run your thing with 5 journalists alone?
Why not?
So imagine you have, like, doing that alone will cost a lot of money. Like, imagine you have 500 staff to cut down operation to just 5 staff.
Okay, I use 5 as a very, very weird example, but okay. Let's say you have freelance. Let's say, okay, Karen Rose does do freelance work for them. Yeah. And he's DigiChop on your thing, right? Okay, cool. You get a bunch of freelancers, 10 to 15 freelancers, and then you have 5 reporters, and they just do this stuff online alone. You should be able to garner enough ads if you do your socials and things properly to be able to get following up people.
Ads from who? I say for me example, right? I have a business. I would Newsday, Express or Guardian is like the last place I go and look. And somebody my age, I don't know, somebody like me.
No, I agree with you, but you could do 2 things. You could put the Google ads on and put the AdSense and create your clickbait articles, which we don't want, but you had to kind of do it that way. And have the AdSense coming in some sort of way that will bolster the income and create a social media presence with your content that is going to cause people to want to come to your social media. And then you could start to tack on ads in between because CNC3 does do that. Guardian Media does do that. So Guardian Media just blatantly have an ad just sitting down there. You think you're watching news and there's literally somebody paid to use their socials.
So having it there is one thing, right? And then seeing how effective it is. So say is some company pay to put an ad there with CNC3 thinking, okay, they have a presence and whatever, but how effective that ad really going to be? When you scroll into CNC3 page and you see an ad, you just stop or you just like, what?
Right.
No, okay.
But you and I know that. But for the population of Trinidad and Tobago, there are plenty of people who will just be on them socials and they will just be looking at what Bacchanal, the news organization, is posting at that point in time because they want to jump in the comments and say something. And that is a reality in Trinidad. Like, if you could monetize the Bacchanal or the clickbaitness, there's a chance. And I seen Guardian Media doing it already. with all their socials.
But when you're looking at it too, right? The bacchanal and the stuff, the crime, whatever, those articles just have a lot of engagement, like hundreds, thousands, and whatever. When you look at the ad, you see like 2 comments, or 3 comments.
Yeah, but it's sponsored and it's shown but the thing is, it's there. Like the opportunity to do it is there. It's not like there is no opportunity to be a digital outlet.
If people really, like how much you think CNC3 charging to put that ad there?
About a 10K maybe.
Right. We you know, we could do it 10,000 in Facebook.
On Facebook ads. Yes, that is true.
So if people really know that model would die.
But people don't really know. That's the thing that we're trying to say. We know, we speaking from a position of privilege, of understanding how ads and things work online. But there are ad agencies and these people that are still put ads in these print places and put ads in the, like, if you want to advertise something politically, and a full page newspaper ad is still the first thing that you're going to do. Because if you take a full page ad in the Express on page 2 and pay how much money, you know that real people are going to see that, because either one or two things. The person who buy the newspaper go and take a picture of it and send it, or the same thing you put in the newspaper, you're going to put on your socials also. But there is still a market for these.
I agree with you, because
ads.
Because like last year, I could say last year, but last year I was talking to somebody who have an established company, you know, about advertising. I was trying to explain to them about, you know, with Facebook and Meta ads, you could literally take 200 or whatever for 2 weeks a week, and the amount of people you would reach. But they still had it in their mind that they need to put an ad in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Versus spend a fraction and you'll get more results.
I understand what you're saying. I'm glad you kind of bring up that example. There is because I work on a radio station right now, and I know the types of people that run some of these media houses, and the types of people that kind of just do ads. It has people still putting ads on. Okay, if anybody hear this, I'm not saying that I don't want any ads on this radio station that I work on, but yeah, you put in an ad on radio and it's not, and and you saying go to www.something.com// in a voice ad. That is crazy. Like, I'm madness. You're supposed to be able to like keep it short and sweet. So the whole advertising thing, there is a time frame that we have probably in the next 10 years where Trinidad will catch up to where we're supposed to be in terms of advertising. But right now, I think it have enough people who are not as okura with online advertising that will be willing to advertise on our online newspaper. Could clip that. Yeah.
So now that I bring up radio station, right?
Yeah.
With one of my companies, my company,
yeah.
right? It's a radio station that found my email address, and they send the packages, right? In terms of
for real? Oh,
yeah. I won't call it radio station, but there's a fairly popular station with like 3 different stations on it, right?
Yeah.
So to advertise on 3 stations for a 20 to 30 second spot, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is 4,500 plus VAT.
Madness.
A 22 to 30 second spot per station, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. I think 66 spots total, 5,000. And 75 spots between 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. is 5,500. Right.
So that basically your ad will be playing twice an hour for 2 weeks?
Yeah, for 4,500.
Yeah.
Versus if I take that 4,500, I wouldn't even recommend spending 4,500 in Facebook ads.
Oh yeah, you'll max it out for sure.
Overkill.
Yeah.
You will advertise to the whole of Trinidad.
Exactly. Yeah, it will go to too much people, and it wouldn't be targeted to anybody. So I understand. I just know that the others going to have to wrangle with this. Newsday probably had a perfect storm of other things to deal with, but I think being online only could have helped. But is Loop was online only yet? It was on Loop.
Yeah, I believe so.
The thing with Newsday too, like say Guardian has CNC3, they have TV as well, and Express at TV6, so they have two other more sources of revenue. Newsday
that you could upsell kind of. Newsday was just like you're correct. Yeah. I have no problem with them being online only. If they could do that, that would be cool. I would love to see if they close down the print side and then they just rebrand and come back as a different online source. But being a trusted online source, now we just stuck with we deal with Express and Guardian and
that's not good call. Like for certain topics and certain certain topics, like I used to see two of them go with one story, and used to be a little kind of independent.
That happened with us a few times because when I looking for articles to talk about on the podcast, more often than not, Newsday used to give us some really good material on certain things and be a little more in depth. So here we are.
And like some of them would spin it one way and Newsday would have a different way, and sometimes over time you would see, okay, this was probably closer to the truth versus that. And I'm sure it's probably vice versa, but in the end, I think we would lose out because we're going to have less sources to kind of do that type of thing.
Yeah, registered or trusted news sources or reputable news sources.
To compare and to be like, okay, this one makes sense. This one is probably...
No, I'd listen to Facebook.
Say propaganda, but...
Yikes. I don't see what people post on Instagram. Crazy. No. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I genuinely hope that it turns to something online because everybody had a pivot to online somehow.
For this, right? If you had the chance or the ability to buy Newsday, would you buy it? You and McKellar, would you all buy it?
If they're selling it, it's probably for a reason. I can.
If I was a media practitioner, mogul, whoever person who had the kind of money to own them kind of things, I would have turned Newsday into digital only because I just see the power of your digital news and you manage your socials properly and you start to do reels and all them kind of thing. You would be able to create a following online that you would be able to advertise to in Trinidad right now. Not in the next 10 years. In the next 10 years, everybody will be smarter and they'll be like, no, I'm not paying you no extra money for no ads when I could pay small money to a social media platform to boost it for me. But right now, we still have a good bit of people who would get caught, for lack of a better word, scrolling through their feed and not notice that our ad is on one of the media houses.
You know, there's a lot of ads, and it's probably the model for that, Ian Allen.
Ian Allen, yeah, correct. You're fully correct. And people don't know. People don't see it. People just think that this is another video that he's doing because it's so, whoever is the socials guy, it's well integrated into the type of content he does normally have. And that's the goal. If you could create ads that look very similar to the content that you normally create and people don't see the difference, then you could have a value proposition to tell other people. But we know better that we could just scroll past and be like, yeah, there's clearly an ad. There's not what it is normally post up. But it's our art. Yeah. All right. Nice. Well done, guys. Well done. Next story is licensing office. I'm going to tell you why I had to stay there for 8 hours on Tuesday.